In this video, I'm going to review the Interactive Brokers Canada trading platform and also give you a quick guide on how to get started investing with Interactive Brokers. Now, bottom line up front, if you just came for the conclusion, I do think that Interactive Brokers is the best investing platform in Canada, especially for people that are trying to invest in US dollars or in the US market, to invest in other markets around the world, to do advanced trading, including things like options trading, margin and leverage trading, and all sorts of other high frequency or derivative trading. But it's also overall just a solid option for self-directed investing, including for investing in Canadian markets, and it has a bunch of different features that I'll walk you through. Now, in terms of some pros and cons, the main pros of the platform, in my opinion, are that there are very low costs for setting up an account, funding it, and then for making trades, which is definitely key because then you get to keep more of the money that you make while investing. And then the second major pro for Interactive Brokers, from my perspective, is just the vast diversity of different options for investment products and the functionality of the platform. Really, anything that you could possibly want to do when it comes to self-directed investing can be done on Interactive Brokers. Now, on the flip side of that, of course, not every platform is perfect. And the main con that I see with Interactive Brokers in Canada is that the platform itself is not necessarily very beginner friendly. So if you can overcome that hurdle, it really makes it probably the best option. But if you're just a complete absolute beginner and you just want absolutely the simplest, most sleek app to just hit one button and invest in the stock markets, I would say that this might not be your best choice. Now, before I give you a quick walkthrough on how to actually set up and fund an account, do some research and make some trades on the platform, let's talk about the different features. And I want to start with what's, in my opinion, probably the most important thing when it comes to different trading platforms, and that is the pricing. How much does it cost you to fund an account, to make trades, and to do other things? Now let's take a look at the commission or the trading fees that Interactive Brokers takes for actually placing trades on the platform. So this right here is a chart of the commission fees that Interactive Brokers takes for buying or selling different products in their US markets section of the platform. There's different commissions depending on which country you're trying to invest in. And that's also one of the major pros of Interactive Brokers, like I discussed, which is that you can actually invest in, I think, over 150 different markets or exchanges all around the world. So if you want to place a trade on the Japanese Nikkei, you can do that using Interactive Brokers. If you want to trade on the US markets, obviously you can do that, but then multiply that by 150. Now the formula for how this works is depending if you're in the tiered or the fixed cost pricing, but most people will probably be on the fixed cost pricing model. And the minimum order is going to cost $1 to place a trade. So $1 US to place a trade. If we compare that with some other trading platforms, for example, Wealthsimple, they don't charge a fee on actually placing the trade, but they charge a commission on the foreign exchange, which is definitely going to be more than $1 per trade as a minimum. If we look at other platforms like Questrade, they charge $4.99. TD Direct Invest charges $9.99. So in terms of the actual minimum fee, this is definitely the lowest in Canada. But there is a catch to that, which is that if the actual 1% value of the trade is lower than the minimum, which seems kind of counterintuitive, then it would actually take the 1% figure. So for example, if we scroll down here to the fine print, you can see that if you place an order to buy 10 shares of a 20-cent stock, you would only be charged 2 cents for that trade. So the commission rates are actually very reasonable and it's not trying to get you. Beyond that, if you're placing a really large trade, there will be a cost per share, depending on how much you're placing, up to a maximum of 1% of the total order value. But just to give you another example of how these fees are definitely going to be pretty reasonable, let's look at one of the biggest ETFs in the US, which is the S&P 500 SPY ETF. Currently is trading for about $552 per share. Now, if you were buying, say, 1,000 shares of the SPY ETF, that would be over $500,000 worth of the stock that you're buying. But the cost to actually place that trade would be 1,000 times 0.005, which works out to be $5. So those are the costs for the US markets, and there's different fees for each country, which you can check out by looking on the website here. Now, aside from that, I'm not going to get into all the different costs to place options trades and to trade Forex and all of these other things here. But the TLDR is that the cost for pretty much all of these are super low relative to the other options available for trading in Canada. Now, there are other things that you can do on the platform here. So for example, you can access margin and you can trade using leverage on the platform. Obviously, I don't recommend this unless you're an advanced trader, but it is a possibility. And if you compare the margin rates for Interactive Brokers to other platforms, also going to be among the lowest. And there's also interest rates if you carry a cash balance in your account. Now, the advertised rate here of 4.83% is only for balances over $100,000, but there is a proportional rate based on the balance that you hold. And the more that you have, including if you go over that, the higher the interest rate that you get. And this is a very solid cash balance interest rate. You probably won't find better elsewhere in Canada. Now, the only other thing that I wanted to mention here in the pricing category is that if you want to access super specialized data and analytics or research tools, you can actually pay for additional tools from the platform here based on whatever you're actually trying to get access to. Now, I don't think that this is going to be necessary for 99% of investors. The tools that they have for research and analytics included with the platform are pretty reasonable for pretty much all but the most experienced and advanced traders. So those are the fees side of things. Now, let's talk about briefly the different types of accounts you can have. You can have a basic personal investing account where you are going to have to pay tax on any capital gains. And you can also have tax advantage accounts, including an RSP and a TFSA set up with Interactive Brokers Canada. And depending on your financial situation, which one of these is going to make more sense is going to be an individual decision that you have to make, but they do have these options here. Now, at the moment, you cannot open up an RESP for your kids or a first home savings account, but these are the two tax advantage accounts that are available on the platform. Then let's move to the actual different diversity of products and exchanges and different global markets that you can invest in, because this is another one of the key features for Interactive Brokers. On Interactive Brokers, you can invest directly in over 150 global markets. And when I say directly, it means that you're actually investing through the native stock exchange of those different markets. This is very different from, say, buying a global markets tracking ETF that's listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange. You can also trade 27 different currencies on the platform, and they have very good rates for trading Forex. I'm not going to list all of the different options for exchanges that are available, but you can see in the Americas, you've got these options. Then in Europe, you've got these. And then in Asia Pacific, you have these options here. So tons of different markets that are available for trading. And then the product type offering is the best available in Canada in terms of the functionality and the different investment products that you can actually choose. Most of these you wouldn't touch unless you were an advanced investor, but basic stocks, ETFs, and bonds are available on the platform, along with the more complex investment vehicles like options and futures and other types of derivatives. So those are really the key features of Interactive Brokers, the pros and cons, and the pricing structure. Now let's walk through a brief tutorial on how you can actually get started. The first step obviously is you're going to need to visit the Interactive Brokers site. There's a link just down below in the description here, and then you're going to click Open Account. Once you've gone through the process of entering your personal information, signing up for the account, it might take a day or two for them to actually verify your identity, and get you set up. Then you'll be able to visit this page here once you log in, where you can actually track your portfolio balance in real time. Now, at this point, the first thing you're going to need to do is hit on the deposit button here and actually send some money to your Interactive Brokers account so that you can start trading. Select the currency that you want to make a deposit in. So say, for example, you're going to fund it with Canadian dollars from a Canadian bank account. It will show you the different options. Connecting your bank via electronic funds transfer might be the simplest one, or online bill pay. I don't necessarily recommend doing the bank wire because it will definitely be the most expensive option here. The wire transfer fees in Canada are not cheap. So simply select the best option for you to fund your account, go through the process, wait a day or two for it to actually hit your account, and then come back. Now, once you've funded your account and you've waited for the balance to actually hit Interactive Brokers, this is where you can actually start making trades and interacting with the platform. So let's walk through a brief tutorial on how you can actually place trades on this platform. I'm not going to get super in depth. This is not going to be a really advanced tutorial on how to trade using Interactive Brokers, but just a quick beginner's walkthrough to get started. Now, this homepage here is just going to track the overall balance of your portfolio, including the profit or loss that you've experienced over time. So you can see the value and also the performance. This portfolios tab here will actually break down the investments that you've made. So you can see all of the different positions that you have open, be it stocks, bonds, options, Forex, whatever you're trading. It will show up here under your holdings, and you can also see the cash that you have in the account. Now, you'll notice that there's two figures here. There's a net liquidity or a cash balance, and then there's actually a buying power. And this is because, like I mentioned in the previous part of this video, that you can actually access leverage if you want to, but I am not recommending that for anybody that is not an advanced trader. Now, the most important part of this platform, obviously, is the trading. So before you actually place trades, if you don't know what you want to invest in, they do have some research tools here. So you can create a watch list, you can track stocks that you're interested in, and you can create as many different watch lists as you like, depending on what you're trying to track. You can do it by sector, you can do it by region, whatever. Now, beyond that, there's tons of other research tools to help you figure out what to invest in. You can track macro data by looking at market overviews, news and research. You can track individual companies. You can look at financial statements from those companies, quarterly reports, annual reports, other documents and analysis for companies. And all these different research tools definitely sets Interactive Brokers apart from some other trading platforms in Canada, say for example, Wealthsimple, where there are free trades for Canadian stocks, yes, but they don't really have research and analysis that helps you figure out what to invest in. Anyways, once you've funded an account, you've done your research and you've figured out what you want to actually invest in, this is where, of course, you're going to want to place a trade. Now, the quickest way to put in a buy or sell order is just to click the blue button at the top here that says trade. You can enter in the symbol of the stock that you're trying to trade, select it from the list. So let's say I wanted to buy or sell shares of Apple. It will show you the current bid and ask price for the stock in real time, which is the price that sellers are willing to sell at and buyers are willing to buy at. It automatically defaults to chunks of 100 shares, but you can actually customize that and you can put in as many as you like. There's limit orders, market orders, stop limit, trailing limit, and so there's tons of different optionality for how you can place the order. If you're actually an active trader as well, for example, a day trader, you can set up things like take profits. So if you want to sell the shares, if it goes up by $5 in price per share, you can set that up. You can also set up a stop loss if you want to cut your losses if it drops by a certain amount, and then you simply hit buy or sell order depending on what you're doing and confirm the trade. Now, if you're doing things that are a little bit more complicated and you want to actually have the full functionality of the platform, you're going to want to hit on the trade tab here. Now, this is going to pop up and show you all of the different functionalities. So, if you're trading Forex, there's the currency trading options. If you're trading options, you can do that here as well. Now, if you select the order ticket option from the drop-down list here, this is also where you can access all of these different things in one place. So you can see you got stocks, options, futures, warrants, CFDs, mutual funds, bonds, commodities, all these different opportunities for you to invest in. Obviously, this is quite complex and I'm not going to get into how to trade every single one, but the basic principle is the same. You simply search for whatever it is that you're trying to invest in. So let's say you're looking to invest in the S&P 500 ETF, select it from the drop-down list and fill out the information to place the order. So yeah, that is a brief tutorial on how to simply set up an account, fund it, get started doing a little bit of research, and how to place a basic buy or sell order and search for stocks. Obviously, this platform has a lot more complexity. There's tons of different functionality. They've even got corporate actions. So for example, if there's a shareholder vote on one of the companies that you hold shares in, you can actually access that directly in the platform here. Tons of different things. I'm not going to get into all of them, but hopefully you found this little tutorial helpful. Like I said, as a quick recap, I do think that this is probably the best platform in Canada for trading in US stocks, for trading global markets, for doing a lot of the advanced different types of trading, including using margin and leverage, trading Forex, trading all these different products that are available here on the platform. And so if you're interested in checking it out, I'll have a link down below this video. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.